Have you ever traded something valuable for something that lasted only a moment? Thousands of years ago, in the land of Canaan, a young hunter named Esau made a choice that will change his life forever. Driven by hunger and focused only on the present, he exchanged a priceless blessing for a simple bowl of stew. This is the biblical story of Esau and Jacob, a powerful lesson about self control, wisdom, and the dangers of letting our desires make our decisions. Welcome to Esau's Bowl of Stew, a story about gluttony and choices. Ago, in the land of Canaan, Isaac and Rebekah were blessed with twin sons. Though they were born on the same day, the two boys were very different from each other. The first was Esau. He was strong, adventurous, and loved exploring the wilderness. The second son was Jacob. He was thoughtful, quiet, and preferred staying close to home. As the year passed, their different personalities became more and more apparent. God had a unique plan for each brother, but neither of them could yet imagine how one simple decision would shape their future forever. As the boys grew older, Esau became a skilled hunter. He loved the excitement of open wilderness, the challenge of tracking animals, and the freedom of life beyond the camp. Day after day, Esau explored the hills, valleys, and deserts of Canaan. His strength and courage earned the admiration of many. Isaac especially loved hearing stories of Esau's adventures and the game he brought home. Esau appeared strong on the outside, but he had yet to learn an important lesson. True wisdom comes not only from strength, but from self control. Unlike his brother, Jacob preferred the quiet life of the camp. While Esau chased adventures in the wilderness, Jacob spent his days helping the family, caring for the animals, and learning the responsibilities of daily life. He watched over the flocks, assisted his mother Rebecca, and spent time near the tents where the family lived. Jacob was patient, thoughtful, and observant. He often noticed things others overlooked. Though the brothers were very different, God had purpose for both of them. Soon as the path would cross in a moment that neither would forget. As the firstborn son, Esau possessed something extremely valuable, a birthright. In ancient time, the birthright was far more than money and property. It carried honor, leadership, family responsibilities, and a special inheritance passed down through generations. As Isaac's eldest son, Esau would one day receive the great portion of the family's wealth and become the leader of the household. Most importantly, he stood in line to receive the blessings God had promised to Abraham and Isaac. Yet Esau did not fully appreciate what he had been given. The blessing was precious, but he often took it for granted. Soon he will face a choice that will reveal what truly mattered to him. The birthright was more than an inheritance. It was connected to God's covenant, a sacred promise first given to Abraham and then passed to Isaac. God had promised to bless the family, make the descendant into a great nation, and use them to bring blessing to the world. The birthright carried the privilege of being part of the divine plan. This blessing was priceless. No amount of silver, gold, livestock, or land could compare to it. Yet while the promise came from the God, its value could only be appreciated by someone who understood its importance. Esau possessed the birthright, but he had not yet recognized how precious it truly was. One day, Esau set out early in the morning for another hunting trip. The sun had barely risen above the hills of Canaan as he left the family camp behind. Confident in his skills and strength, he ventured deep into the wilderness, searching for game. The rugged landscape stretched endlessly before him, rocky hills, dry valleys, and scattered trees. Hours passed as Esau tracked animals across the harsh terrain. He was determined to return home with a successful hunt. But on this particular day, things would not go as planned. Without realizing it, Esau was walking toward a decision that would change his future forever. At first, the hunt seemed like any other day. Esau carefully followed tracks through the hills and valleys searching for animal. But as the hour passed, his success never came. Every trail seemed to disappear. Every opportunity slipped away. The animals remained out of reach. The morning sun climbed higher into the sky, and the wilderness grew hotter. Dust filled in the air, and Esau continued searching across the rugged terrain. Still determined, he pressed forward. He refused to give up. Yet, every passing hour, still his strength slowly began to fade. As the day wore on, the sun grew hotter and hotter. The cool morning air had vanished, replaced by intense heat that beat down on the wilderness. Esau continued walking across the rocky hills, searching for signs of prey. Sweat covered his face. His clothes were clotted with dust from the dry ground beneath his feet. Every step required more effort than the last. The blazing sun drained his energy, and the weight of exhaustion slowly settled upon him. Still, Esau refused to turn back. Determined to succeed, he pressed deeper into the wilderness, unaware that the greatest challenge was yet to come. By the afternoon, Esau knew the hunt had failed. Despite hours of searching, he had found nothing. No game, no food, no reward for his efforts. Exhausted and discouraged, he finally turned towards home. The journey back seemed longer than ever before. His legs felt heavy, and every step drained the little strength he had left. The blazing sun continued to beat down upon him as hunger gnawed at his stomach. What had begun as a normal hunting trip was quickly becoming a struggle of endurance. Far in the distance, the tents of his family camp finally came into view. Home was near, but Esau's hunger was about to cloud his judgment in the way he never accepted. As Esau drew closer to the camp, something suddenly caught his attention. A rich aroma drifted through the air. Someone was cooking. The smell of fresh bread and warm lentil stew carried across the valley. After a long day without food, the scent seemed impossible to ignore. Esau's stomach growled. His exhaustion, hunger, and disappointment now focused on a single thought: food. With every step toward the camp, the smell became stronger. What was once a simple meal was beginning to feel like the answer to all his problems. Without realizing it, Esau was allowing his physical hunger to take control of his thinking. While Esau struggled in the wilderness, Jacob remained at the camp. As the evening approached, Jacob prepared a meal for the family. Over a small cooking fire, he slowly stirred a pot of red lentil stew. The rich aroma spread throughout the camp. Fresh bread baked nearby, and the simple meal promised comfort after a long day. Jacob worked patiently, paying close attention to the food. He had no idea that his ordinary meal was about to become a part of the one of the most remembered moments in biblical history. Soon Esau would arrive hungry, exhausted, and focused only on one thing. At last, Esau reached the camp. His body ached from the long journey. His stomach felt empty after a full day without food. Every step had become a struggle. As he entered the camp, the aroma of Jacob's stew was stronger than ever. The smell seemed to pull him towards the cooking fire. There sat Jacob beside the pot, calmly preparing the evening meal. In that moment, Esau stopped thinking about tomorrow, his future, or the valuable bright birthright he has possessed. Unable to resist any longer, Esau walked straight towards the cooking fire. The smell of the stew filled his senses. His hunger had grown too intense that it overshadowed everything else. Standing before Jacob, exhausted and desperate, Esau spoke the words that would begin the life changing exchange. Please let me have some of the red stew. I am exhausted. At the moment, Esau only saw a bowl of stew. He was no longer thinking about the future, his responsibilities, or the priceless blessings he possessed. He immediately hunger had become more important than everything else. Jacob looked at his hungry brother and saw an opportunity. Esau's eyes remained fixed on the steaming stew. His exhaustion had clouded his judgment, and his hunger had become overwhelming. Instead of immediately offering the meal, Jacob made an unaccepted proposal. First, sell me your birthright. For a moment that evening, air seemed still. The birthright was the most valuable possession Esau owned. It represented honor, inheritance, leadership, and future blessing. Yet standing before the steam pot, Esau faced a choice between temporary desires and the lasting treasure. Esau stared at the steaming ball of stew. The smell filled the air. His stomach ached. His body was exhausted from the long day in the wilderness. At that moment, the meal seemed more important than anything else. The birthright represented honor, leadership, inheritance, and future blessings. But Esau was no longer thinking about the future. He was thinking only about the present. His hunger had become so powerful that it overshadowed wisdom, patience, and good judgment. The choice before him was clear: temporary satisfaction or lasting value. Yet Esau's eyes remained fixed on the food. Esau listened to Jacob's offer. For a brief moment, he had the chance to stop and think. His birthright was worth far more than a single meal. It represented his future, his inheritance, and his position within the family. But hunger clouded his judgment. Instead of considering the value of what he possessed, Esau focused only on what he lacked in the moment. Frustrated and impatient, he finally replied, "Look, I am about to die. What's good is my birthright to me now?" With those words, Esau revealed how little he valued the blessing that he has already has. Jacob pressed the matter further. He said, "Swear to me first." Esau barely hesitated. His hunger had become more important than his inheritance. The promise of immediate satisfaction outweighed the value of future blessing. Without careful thought, Esau agreed. In that moment, he traded something priceless for something temporary. A decision that took only seconds will be remembered for generations. The exchange was made. The birthright now belonged to Jacob. The agreement was complete. Jacob handed the food to his brother exactly as promised. A bowl of steaming red lentil stew and fresh bread were placed before Esau. Without hesitation, Esau took the meal. The hunger that had controlled his thought all day finally has its reward. But the satisfaction would last only a short time. The birthright he had traded away was far more valuable than the food now sitting in his hands. Yet in the moment, Esau cared only about eating. Without delay, Esau began to eat. The stew was warm and satisfying. The bread filled his empty stomach. For the first time that day, he felt relief. The hunger that had consumed his thought was finally gone. But as quickly as it came, the meal would soon be finished. The satisfaction lasted only a moment. What Esau had given away, however, could not be easily replaced. A temporary hunger had been satisfied, but a priceless birthright had been lost. In exchange for a single meal, Esau had traded away, something really far greater. After he had eaten and drunk, Esau stood up and went on with his life. The meal was over. The hunger that had seemed so important only moments before had disappeared. But the decision remained. For a brief moment of satisfaction, Esau had surrendered something far greater. The birthright represented his future, inheritance, family, leadership, and the blessings connected to God's promises. Now it was gone. Scriptures record the tragedy in a simple but powerful statement. Thus Esau despised his birthright. He had treated something priceless as though it had little value. The meal had lasted for an evening. The consequences will last a lifetime. Esau traded a priceless birthright for a single meal. His story reminds us to value what truly matters and not sacrifice lasting blessings for temporary desires. If you enjoyed this Bible story, subscribe to Face Snap Bible for more cinematic Bible stories and powerful lessons from Scripture. Watch one of these videos next and continue growing in faith.